Wow, that's impressive. Hey dudes, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we are talking about doubt.
In what areas of your life do you sometimes doubt God's presence?
Sometimes when I feel like God has spoken to me prophetically, which means when I feel like God wants to give me a certain message about something and speaks through other people, or dreams, visions, like things that are slightly weird, like outside of normal expectations of communication. Sometimes I doubt it after a while. At the time I probably really believe it, and after a while I'm like, oh, I don't know, because this doesn't seem to have happened yet, or it's not been confirmed by anything else. And also there has been a time in my life where I've got it really, really wrong, and it separated me from God for a long time. So now I'm very cautious whenever something like that happens again, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing.
No.
But it takes a lot of deep consideration to try and stay on the right place.
I think that's always good, deep consideration from what God is telling you, because sometimes you can hear things that you think are from God that aren't necessarily from God. But I think you then shouldn't doubt God's ability to do great things. Not saying that you are, because you've heard one thing that isn't necessarily from God.
I doubt a lot when I pray for people and I get something for them. I sort of go, ooh, and then have to always double check with God if it's from him or not, because I always have that doubt.
Well, he often says weird things, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or things that, like, to you mean nothing, but to someone else actually is like right on the dot, but you don't know it.
Yeah.
I've had a prophetic word for someone once, like a middle-aged man, and I can vision of him in a kids paddling pool. And then I actually said to him, like, this is what I've got for you, and he went, that really confirms something else I've been thinking about.
Was it him getting a paddling pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, God just speaks in sometimes weird ways.
Yeah.
And gives us weird images or visions, and sometimes it's just like, is this you or is this me, or what's going on here? Yeah.
I say that most of the time I completely believe God's presence, God's there, and that everything is worked out because of God. Throughout my testimony, and the fact that I went from such an awful place in my mental health to such a good place, I totally see God through it. But if I'm having a particularly rough or bad day, or just going through a time when my mental health's not brilliant or whatever, I'm not back at the same place I used to be, but I'm still not 100%. I then sometimes doubt God's ability to be there with me, which doesn't make sense, because I know that God was there to get me from really rough times to now. But it's really hard to sort of remember that in really tough times. So I'd say that I definitely doubt God more in really sort of tough, difficult times, when I'm searching for God but just can't see him in the way that I want to see him, because I quite often want a quick fix, being yeah, everything's going to be perfect now, which is not how God works.
So how do we hang on to the truth of God being present in everything?
I think because all three of us know that most of the time, and I say that most of the people watching this video, you sort of know that, but it's just trying to remember that in really difficult times, and praying, sort of writing down all the great, incredible stories that God has done for you, so you can go through them and you can sort of remind yourself. And I say that even if you're sort of watching this and you're like, oh, but I've never had that experience, I'd seriously just consider praying and being like, God, just show me your presence, show me your glory in my life. And ultimately talk to people, get them to pray for you as well. All three of us would happily pray with you about this, because it is really easy to doubt, because the whole world doubts on God, so you almost get that pushed on you quite a lot. But yeah, but prayer, I really enjoy journaling and stuff, so journaling, writing down oh, God did this incredible thing today, and yeah, just keep searching and seeking him in lots of different ways, and accept that God doesn't often appear in a way that we expect and we're looking for.
I also think that sometimes it's not that God's not present, it's just we're not recognising when he is, because sometimes we just put it down to other things. A really good thing happens and we're like, oh, that was a nice coincidence, or it was me that achieved that. when actually that was God working and we just don't give him credit at the right times. A really good way to not doubt God is to be there for other people to help them see God, and then in return have them do that to you. Because if you're constantly just building your own faith around yourself, you're just going to miss out from God in so many different places, because a lot of the time God works through you, through your close Christian community. So that's why we do these videos together, because we can bounce off each other and we're hearing stuff that each other's saying that actually God might be saying through one of us to the other person. Cool, so we hope that helped you. Do be praying into this for yourselves and just really asking God to reveal to you the ways that you may be doubting and maybe you don't know it, or ways that he can just surprise you with his presence and make that really clear to you. Like if you liked it, comment in your comments, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in another video. Bye!
Bye!